Okay, we're good.
Okay, the time is, looks like 5:31. We'll call the meeting to order. Who's here? The deputy, the chief, the three commissioners, and Kathy Topon. The first thing on the agenda is to elect a chairperson. And I would elect John the next year to be on chairman.
Well, it brings up an interesting issue, because I couldn't find it in the minutes, but I swear that you said if I won re-election, you'd be willing to give up the chair. I'm just saying.
And I have no problem with that. I wasn't planning on it. Would you like to nominate yourself then?
Question. Because, no, I had to think, I've been thinking about it. And,
I mean, I can change it. It does not matter to me. It's not like it's like a huge thing to do.
No, it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But if you'd like, then nominate yourself.
well, I don't think it's appropriate for me to nominate myself, so.
Why not?
Why? It's just not appropriate, just my opinion, I'm
Okay.
one person. So, you know what, I'll second it, and I'll go from there.
I'll make a motion for Eric as well.
Good to elect him?
Yeah.
I'll second.
Okay. There you go. A motion and a second. It's going to be a fun year anyways.
I'm thinking about that too, that's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I got selected as chair.
So I
too,
guess-
so, like, whatever.
Okay, guys, you gotta figure out what you're gonna do.
All right,
So it's been motioned and seconded.
Well, it's been motion second on him, the same with him.
That is correct.
I'll withdraw my motion, my second of John.
Okay. So then you got a motion and a second. So, and where right now it's up for grabs, it really should be the chief that calls for the vote, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Do that, so we have a motion for Eric
Yep.
and a second,
Yep.
and that's it.
Yep.
So any discussion on the motion? Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 I'll stay.
There you go.
All
Yeah.
That's it. Congratulations.
That was easy.
Paul's going, phew.
right. Leaving it for a couple of years, well, I guess we move on then, huh?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, we have to appoint a clerk.
Right, Camden Steady contacted me yesterday. She emailed me because I've been trying to get in touch with her since district meeting, and she finally emailed me back and said that she would accept the position and asked when and where the meeting was tonight. So I told her it was here at 5:30.
What's the first name?
Camden.
Cam.
CAMDEN.
Was she the one that was?
Yes.
Yes.
At the Ware School District.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought her name was Mary.
No.
No, her mother is Mary, who's on the school board.
Okay.
Is that
Knew the
Rob
last
City's
name,
daughter?
that's all I knew.
I don't know.
I know the mother's on the school board, that's all I know. I don't know the,
What's
unless
Bob's
it's-
wife's name?
Unless it's her daughter-in-law,
don't know.
because her son runs the steady insurance down here.
Matt Speedy?
Yeah.
I know Matt.
I don't know.
Isn't that her
It
husband?
could be her wife, his wife.
I'm all confused.
Is it relative?
No, it's
No,
not. I'm
no.
just curious who it is, because I can't even picture who it is.
So,
I'll make a motion to accept Camden Steady for the appointment to the clerk for a one-year position.
Correct.
I'll second it.
all right, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Now she'll walk in.
That's okay.
All right. No, I was just kidding. I was just kidding. All right, we got public comment.
You don't have anyone on there?
Anyone dial in?
No.
Members of the district? Employees of the district? That would be you. Well, you're an employee, and you're an employee.
Hopefully everybody here is an employee.
That's true,
Yes.
because we all get W-2s. All right, correspondence.
On March 31st, letter was hand-delivered from the Tilton Northfield Fire District,
Water district.
Water District, sorry, the Tilton Northfield Water District, regarding our intentions on continuing as a customer of the Water District. You all received an email copy. And then an email was received from Paul Fitzgerald at Westcott Law on April 2nd regarding the same. And you received a copy of that as well.
Was it,
That's his reply to the other question.
It's in your pack.
yeah, no, I was looking for the original letter.
Oh, from the water district?
Yeah, is that this one? I had it in my phone.
Stack up their own network.
You're on fight.
Well, I guess I was confused, because to me, it came across like they're trying to disconnect the building. And I don't know if that's what they're trying to do, like the actual building.
I read that they were asking if we wanted to keep the domestic services portion of it, since we're not, because of the current status with the hydrants.
Yeah, but they're two separate items. So.
Correct.
I have. I don't want us to disconnect that.
No. No, still want to keep those.
And then-
Unfortunately, we don't have a contract on it's just a,
What we currently have is an agreement that is not funded.
no, for the domestic.
For
Oh.
domestic, no, it's just
This
One-
like any other business. There's no contract or
Right.
anything like that.
But they have a set business rate that they use.
Well, I don't know what the rate is, but I know we received a bill from them
We
yesterday.
charge the same rate as all other domestic water
Okay.
users.
All right.
No.
That's,
I don't think there's a commercial, I don't think there's a commercial rate versus a residential.
I just wanted to make sure that we're in the,
Yeah.
kind of established just like any other business or anything like that.
We are.
Now, before, did we pay a separate rate for that there, the domestic?
Yes.
Yes.
We did,
We
okay.
do.
So it's,
And that was in our budget,
yeah.
the itemized
Was it
budget
there?
for the year.
Yep.
The only thing that wasn't in there was the budget committee zeroed out the hydrants.
Correct.
And the board put in a warrant article
Mhm.
to compensate for that. And of course, that failed.
Yep.
So that is zero funded.
Mhm.
All right.
So basically what they're asking is what we want to discontinue the services and what date, if they want it discontinued. We did receive our quarterly bill from the water district this week, and the hydrant rental was included.
So, but that's a separate bill, right?
It's on the Park Street water bill.
So,
No.
It's a separate line.
No. So my 2 cents to the group is that we, in writing, per what we received from council, is that we respond in writing that we do still want to maintain our domestic services as they were at this time, to at least take that piece off the table. At this time, we are not in contract with them for hydrants, so that is something that needs to be negotiated on in a different aspect, but that we pay the domestic rate only at this time.
I mean, I don't see how you can pay it. We don't have the money for it.
Right.
So there's,
So basically what you need to decide is, you have to discontinue the public hydrant service because it was zero funded, and you need to have a date that you want that discontinued.
Back when the contract ran out.
yeah, I mean, you don't have the, how can we pay for it if we
You
don't have the money?
can't, you have the
Right.
money.
So the contract ran out and that was it?
Yes.
The people voted it down. I mean,
Yep.
it's obvious that,
What's really sad is if
I don't
the
know.
water commissioners had shown up, it would have passed.
Yep. I know.
That's really
I think they
sad.
shot themselves in the foot by,
A few things,
yeah.
but that's a separate matter to be discussed down the road.
Totally.
so we have to ask for separate billing from the the hydrant service versus the,
Correct. Versus domestic.
versus domestic.
So at this time, what they were asking is what we want to discontinue is the hydrant system will be discontinued per the contract expiration date, but to maintain the current, maintain domestic use as has been handled.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think other business and non-public, we start talking with attorneys and possible negotiations and sit down and talk with them. But for the first part of that part, was more keeping our fire department functioning in the stations.
Do you want the chief
Is it- should we
to
make that a
craft the
motion?
letter for you
I-
to sign?
I will, yeah, I'll make a motion that we draft a letter, send it out to the commissioners before it's signed, stating that we would like to maintain domestic water services as has been done in the recent past, and that hydrant system was suspended or expired at the end of that contract. And then from there, we can start addressing the hydrants as a different matter entirely.
Do you want that noted in the letter that we're going to maintain, we'd like to maintain the domestic service as always, as is the history, and we want to address the hydrant service separately,
Independently,
independently of that?
Well,
yes.
In this letter, in the paragraph 2,
Yeah.
line 3, well, I guess it'd be what he suggested for a reply is, it sounds like reduction, not request any reduction in services, but open negotiations,
In hopes of achieving a mutually satisfactory
Yeah.
agreement.
which is different than what we just said.
Right, but if you send a letter saying no reduction, then we just bought into that first quarter of hydrants no matter what. If you don't differentiate them, then you, by sending a letter saying that no reduction, is obligating us to somehow take that first quadrant hydrant bill, which isn't even established in a dollar amount, and we're obligated in writing at that point.
Yeah.
I just, you know,
But does that mean that they're gonna go around and shut off all the hydrants?
They could,
If we say we're cutting clean and effective January 1st,
what
There's a
perhaps,
process if they do.
yeah, but at the same time, if we send a second letter or something even contained in the first letter that we want, hopefully could open up some type of negotiations to come to something amicable. And he's suggesting a special district meeting,
Right.
which we'd have to ask the Superior Court for permission for that, because it would be something that you would have to appropriate money for, which, that's part of the RSA. That's how you go about doing it. You don't even, this is not a DRA issue, it's a RSA issue.
I just thought of this, so I don't even know. So with all this COVID stuff going on, and there's extensions on people paying rent and utilities, does this fall under that where we could use that as part of COVID, where we just don't have the money to pay for it?
No, because they voted it down at district
I
meeting.
don't know, I'm just looking
Good
at,
try.
just grasping the straws.
But, yeah, I would make a motion that we say yes on the domestic, but a separate, the hydrants at this time is not part of this, this continuation.
I just be careful how so we don't get stuck paying the first quarter.
All right, so what if the chief drafts the letter and shoots it off to the attorney for his perusal,
Thank you.
and then it comes back for you guys to look at,
Yep,
and then,
Yeah, we might have to go back and forth a couple
Right.
yeah,
times
and
with
and
that.
then we have another meeting for you to sign the letter, all three of you,
absolutely.
Yeah.
and it's delivered to them.
But I would also ask that we have a separate letter entirely dealing with hydrants, so that there is literally a domestic letter and a hydrant letter, because it's keeping that black and white completely
Yeah.
I agree.
Totally.
And that-
Where they
that-
merged it into one issue here.
Right, exactly. That's my concern with how that letter is that
They want to.
just like the Park Street bill, they kind of merged it together. They're trying to, and we need to have a complete,
Yeah, because they, I mean, let's face it, they got an attorney that,
Well, I guess, here's another question, because this says the fill line. So if you guys go out on a call and you need to fill the truck, then you come back to the station empty, and you have a fill line at the Park Street,
That the hydrant, pressurized hydrant service includes the fill line, so they'd probably shut that fill line.
so
off
we
on
would
us.
possibly have to use river water, which is a nightmare.
Well, we
Or
can
if
use
it's
the garden-
mutual aid,
We can use the garden hose, and just take a hell of a long
it'll
time.
take all night. Or if it's mutual aid, then they fill up off the hydrant system in mutual aid.
you know, just make sure they do before they leave town.
Yeah, we would do that.
You want to have the water and supply and service, so it's just, there's definitely going to be some operational impacts for,
Well, there's gonna be a huge impact if we have a fire.
right.
God forbid, I hope we don't.
Well, if there's a hydrant sitting in front of that house and that hydrant is in service and not marked as out of service, we can use it. It has to be shut off and marked out of service at their expense.
Does the district have the capability of turning on a hydrant if it's shut off? Like, and let's say it doesn't have a bag over it, but I know that they have the thing.
Technically, we could buy the valve wrenches to do that, but there's also covers, and we have to know where each valve is.
In the street.
And if it's in the wintertime, it's not likely that we'll be able to buy
I
the
think we're
covers
good
to
for
do
the
that.
next 6 months, but I don't think we'll have much cold weather. I'm just worried about if we had a decent sized fire. I mean, just look what happened in the city of Lawrence.
Yep.
You know, I see that in this village district down there.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
You know, over in, going over by the Union Sanborn School.
But you also have a river there where you can pull a
Yeah.
draft off. So the pressurized hydrant is nice for part of it, but especially in the village district, a good chunk of it is right along the river
Yeah.
where it's drop a hard suction in or
You just gotta run lines, that's all.
Still,
rural water
the
supply.
advantage of having a pressurized
It's-
hydrant service is far
incredible.
exceeds
Absolutely.
drafting,
Yeah.
because drafting, even, the pumps are rated 1,500 gallons per minute, that's ideal drafting conditions. Well, we're still drafting from height, so we still have some loss there and things like that. Whereas when you have a pressurized hydrant feeding your pump, you can exceed your pump capacity of 1,500 gallons a minute. You could probably pump 3,000 gallons a minute, depending upon what the pressure and the volume capacity of the hydrant is. So, hydrants are the way to go if you can use them.
but to be honest, I really don't think they would shut them off. I really don't, simply because if there was something major, it's gonna look them, like they're pretty bad. It's not gonna help them a bit.
And it'll be costly too, because they have to go out, shut them off, bag them off, so
Yeah.
now they have to buy the supplies.
It just,
And then it comes down to a court of law at the end, but the RSA allows us to tap into the water supply if it's available.
I just don't think they're gonna do that, but. I think they just, what I think they're doing is just trying to put a little pressure to see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they have a meeting coming up next week too.
Or their district was it the 13th or the 20th?
I forget each time what,
It's next week.
Yep.
You don't know what day,
I'm looking now, it must be next Tuesday. Yes.
Yes,
As I
it's
said,
the
I have a note
13th.
in water district meeting, it's a week from today.
excellent.
13th.
it's on the 13th?
Yep.
I'll make sure that's out there.
Though my time may be off because I wrote 8 AM.
Yeah, it's not 8 AM.
And it's at the,
At the Pines.
At the Pines.
Yeah.
So it's probably like,
So I have a feeling some public might show up there too.
Is it 7 o'clock?
I don't remember.
It must.
It's not on their
I was
website.
gonna say, you can't see it on their website.
Yes, they don't post their stuff as a district on their website in accordance with 91A. Just saying. Because I've looked a few times.
it's searching.
But yes, I would make a motion that we draft a letter separating the domestic from the hydrant, forwarded, drafted by the chief, sent to council, and then returned and reviewed by the commissioners before it's sent out.
I'll second it.
Motion and second, any other discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye?
There you go.
Yeah. I do like the idea of truck radar.
Yeah, so,
It still scares the jeepers of.
oh yeah. Good thing you're the chair.
All right, I guess we're moving on to the chief's report.
So, I sent you the report in email. Have you had a chance to review it?
Some of it, yes.
Do you have any questions on it? I don't have to read the whole thing all over again.
On the motion, I did have a couple of questions. I read in there, we lost a firefighter, we have a student. What's the process of the personnel, where you're at with that?
So we posted for the position. Posting closes the 19th, and we'll go through the applications at that point, and select. We'll go through our little process, and we'll select the candidate to go forward for hiring after that. The student intern is Olivia. She's in the high school, right?
She was part of the Concord High School. She lives in Northfield, Concord High School. They have a fire program. She's already taken EMT class. She's in the AMT class right now, wants to go do paramedicine in the fall, so she's a go-getter.
Very good. Now, is she 18 where you can use it for interior? So she is, you can use it for interior, because I remember the old Explorer
She's
program.
not certified. It's not a
But if she
certification
was
program.
and
Correct.
she wouldn't have that either.
She's going for paramedic school.
Yep. And tech.
Not at the time.
No, I think she's going to go out of state.
Oh, she's
Out of
doing
state.
So it may be a short internship with us for this, but she's been riding with us. She's a good kid.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, with the interns, I assume they all have to have your hazard awareness as a requirement. Every firefighter has to have at least awareness level, including
So
the medical.
she's not a firefighter.
Right.
She's an EMS provider.
But as EMS, I thought the requirement was awareness level
No.
minimal.
So she's probably had that in the firefighter curriculum from Concord.
But I don't have any record.
Yeah, but it's not like pro board or anything like that as far as the awareness level goes. She's taken PPE, SCBA, all the different
Yep.
modules, just no certification. She's taken and completed the EMT class, so she's had obviously awareness level training in that. She just did swift
Yes.
water awareness with us this week for shift training, so she does have a fundamental understanding of what the awareness level is: hot zone, warm zone, cold zone.
Yep. And does she have a ambulance license where she can be considered one or two, or?
No, she's not state licensed yet.
Okay, so she would be a third.
She's just a rider right now.
Okay, she could not be a two-person move the ambulance.
Correct.
Okay,
Until she gets a New Hampshire provider license, she
Right.
cannot provide.
exactly. The New Hampshire ambulance license, and that's why.
Have we had any applications on,
Yes.
how many?
About,
Seven?
Nine
Oh,
or, it's
is
like
that-
up to 9 now.
Is it now?
Well,
Okay.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was 7 on Monday, so,
That's real good.
yeah, it is.
Well, a lot of them don't have a lot of the stuff that were required, so.
Of that 7 or 8 that you receive, how many are hit all the boxes? All the check marks, if you will.
2 or 3.
No, that's
Still not bad.
That's not bad.
How does the Safer Grant hires impact or be impacted by this?
So what will happen is when we replace the person that left, this, one of the safer persons will become a non-safer person, and the new person that we
Okay.
hired becomes a safer
All right,
person.
so they'll
Is it-
just
is
move
it-
up the tree.
Is
Yes.
that legal though? I mean, is it, and it passes through that?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
That's with mustard.
all right.
Because let's say at the end of the 3 years, when if we did not, if the town did not accept to keep all the people, the 4 people, which is a possibility, and they only wanted to keep 2. In other words,
So when we hire them with the seniority,
They're ranked.
affixed to
so they would
them.
move up.
They're ranked.
Okay.
Yep.
So one of those safer grant people could have more seniority, even though they all started the same day, but they could have been,
We assigned them a seniority as they were hired, so that
Based
there's
on
1, 2,
skills.
3, and 4 right now, so.
so it's possible that by the end of their, I mean, even within 2 years, we could have 4 completely different people. I mean, hopefully.
It's certainly possible. Yep.
The people you're looking to bring in, because the training is obviously impacted, because the safer grant doesn't cover the training if they come in, we've already got them hired. So the people coming in, you're looking to have them at AMD
That's
and level 2.
So as a safer position,
They're only
it only
basic.
required is a basic.
Yeah.
Prefer it, though.
Prefer they get preference.
Yes, it was, but I just know that if we brought someone in as a basic to fill the safer, it would come out of the fire district's wallet to train them to the AEMT level
Yes,
that we have as a department policy for the full-timers.
correct.
You had said when the person left, there might be money owed to the district.
Well, there'll be a balance at the end of this year from what was, if you take the total amount and divide it by 3 years.
No, I'm talking about there was.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
the person who left, we sent to paramedic school.
Right.
So he
He's received a bill for the balance he
received an
owes.
invoice for the balance that he owes for the contract that he signed for his
Okay.
education.
Was that expected?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
it's
He
clearly
knew.
stated within the contract.
No, I know. I just
And he
wanted-
was aware of the situation as well.
I had a conversation with him prior to.
Just so he's aware.
He is very aware.
I just want to make sure we got our money, that's all.
Was that by chance the Vermont firefighter?
One of them, yes. The New Hampshire one that moved to Vermont.
Okay. One of them, do we have another Vermonter?
Yes.
We do, yes. One of the safer people.
Okay.
We have a Vermont resident that works here, now we have one that went and became a Vermont resident. Keep up.
For a very short period of time, we actually had 2 Vermont residents working.
Yes,
Right. Because we were doing the tax for.
right, we still are.
Still-
But from one now.
For one,
Okay.
just to keep
Effective
on your
next
toes,
week.
Jim.
one person.
See, I went through this. Yeah, everything else was,
No.
deputies out running
Number-
around doing inspections.
Number 10, is this an additional person? Or is this the person?
No, the person who's resigned is gone, and we're advertised to replace.
Okay, so this is the person.
We've only had one person leave.
Right.
Okay. No, just see, the date, just, like, that's like yesterday, but I feel like we did this a few weeks ago, or.
Well, I knew that was going to.
Okay.
I received a letter of resignation.
Well, I heard your statement this month.
Yes. Yes, his last day was
Okay.
last week, so
All right.
it fell into this month.
Let's try it. How did the planning board meeting go?
They did step 1 of the tower.
It's site review, site walk is going to be next Monday.
Then it will be the following month for part 2 because it's a major.
Well, I saw all sorts of stakes over there.
Yeah, that's staked out. They did corings there and engineering and wetlands review, and the botanist was out there, and in fact, he was there last night as well.
Who was?
The
Oh, the
wetlands
bot-
engineer,
oh,
or
wetland
whatever you
scientist.
want to call that.
Wetland scientist.
Now, out of curiosity, I saw the Conex trailers were going to be turned 90 degrees of what they currently are as part of the plan.
The Conex, a training facility?
Yes.
No, they're staying exactly the way they are.
Prince was otherwise. Because I saw them on the print and I was a little questioning of that movement and if you were going to have to add more concrete pad and things like that.
We don't have to do anything.
Okay, all right.
And the boiler, that was.
That was the last one.
So that was replaced, but now I see a steering gearbox, the E3. How much was that?
It was like 20, was it $2,700?
Oh,
I don't
didn't say
remember.
1,000.
Yeah, it's around 2,700.
Is that the one that's being replaced this year, or is that?
That's the
E1?
one being replaced next year.
Okay. So hopefully good for at least another 20,000 miles.
The fire station committee, I'm not sure the order that you want to go as the chair, but.
Yeah, we're just looking at the report, so I'm
Yeah.
just kind of,
Kinda
I'm
working
jumping all
with it.
over the place.
Okay, then the fire station committee, what's the plan for possibly a station design?
Yeah, that's under,
Was it? I didn't
under
see
new
it.
business, warrant article 6.
Yeah, it's on the new business.
District meeting review.
Yes, district
Okay.
meeting review.
Yeah, we'll wait then. But dry hydrants and cisterns, what are we stepping into with that?
I made you aware during my review, back when we did that in January, I forget when we did it, but I've been compiling a list of locations where I want to add cisterns and dry hydrants within the fire district, which would require, first of all, you need surveyors to lay out the easement area, and you have to have a lawyer draw up the agreement and the easement. I don't know what you want me to do with that, because we're already over our legal expenses for the year. So, I can see if I can get property owners to sign on in some respect, but I don't think we can afford to pay for a surveyor or anything else to move forward, and even then plans to, because I wanted to do like 2 a year. That was my initial thought. That would equal probably anywhere between $100,000 and $150,000 a year, because they're, depending upon what type of site work you need, and the 30,000-gallon cistern and stuff like that. I don't know what I can accomplish really this year in that regards now.
Well, is there a way that maybe you can come up with like the town will have a road improvement plan and a 10-year plan on what they're gonna do. So maybe if we have a plan of where you wanna do, ballpark figure, at least we'll have a
So a ballpark figure,
well, no, but at
on
least if we have a
worst case
location.
size is probably about $75,000
Yeah,
per site. That's probably worst case.
is that for cisterns?
Cistern.
Right, for dry hydrants or?
Dry hydrants are much less.
Yeah. So I mean, at least maybe if we had a combination of what you can do and where you want to put them and what priority they are, at least we can have a plan so that next year we can, when it comes time for budget season, we can say, all right, these are the locations that we want to go.
Right.
And maybe the budget committee will, feel that that's a good investment and who knows?
Because either way, with how the hydrant goes, it's, a lot of these areas is water out there,
You're
remote
never going to have
locations.
hydrants in
Right.
any of these areas that I've targeted.
No.
Right.
Now, how many cisterns we got? I got this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Around 5.
As part of our plan each year, we go out and check them out for
Function.
water.
Yeah, I think we have 5 or 6 residential, and we have commercials as well.
Yeah, commercial
The big
lawns,
ones,
yeah,
yeah.
don't count those.
Like Home Depot and Walmart and Lowe's and,
Smitty's and all those
Smitty's.
places.
yeah.
BJ's.
BJ's, there's one up, in Spalding has one.
What is the 100 on the drive? What is that classified as?
A pond with a fire pump.
Okay, that works. I know all about that fire pump, so. I know it intimately. Interesting.
They also have a dry hydrant.
Yes,
But it comes from the same water supplier.
it does.
Yeah. That's just if anyone else catches on fire. Or that they're saying another drought year, so that's gonna affect a lot of those. They already said we're 3 and 2.
Yes, some of our dry hydrants are into the river, and during certain times of the year, they're useless.
Yeah, well, especially in October when they lower the level of the river.
I'm comfortable with the report as,
I have a list all, that I've been working on, so when it comes budget season, I'll have that list all prepared for it.
like a capital improvement plan of where we're going, and
Yep.
just to have that other thing.
I did have a question as I go through this and ask
Sure.
inspections, and I'm not sure how to word it. And I don't know if it's if I sound like I'm bordering on non-public, please let me know. So I have a neighborhood house that the fire department has visited at least 2 times in the past week for an outside fire. Where it appeared that they were going to burn more than wood. Not more than wood, more than like,
What was allowed?
more than what, like, yeah, that chair looks good, let's throw that in. Oh, we got a mattress, we're gonna throw that in. I don't think I'm far off in those statements. This is reported to me by someone else. Do we have fines that they can go after, or do we have?
So there's 2 recourses for illegal burning. First thing we can do is issue them a warning.
Yeah.
If we issue them a warning, that's the end of it. If we think it's serious enough, we can call in the state, and the ranger will issue them a citation or a warrant for arrest.
Well, this is, I mean, this is an event that happens frequently. This being, I mean, they've had some big fires there, you know, in the last couple of years, but they've also, from what I've been told, is that this last one, you know, they had stuff ready to go, and the fire department actually put out the fire. Where the first time they came, they didn't put out the fire. I don't know if they told them to put out the fire, but, you know, according to some, there was a lot of smoke in the neighborhood because of the fire department putting it out. So I just didn't know if there was or is this something that's just gonna be ongoing?
So, we can certainly, if we find that it's illegal burning, we put the fire out. Sometimes we ask the resident to put it out, and they agree to do that, and they do that, so that we have to use our.
Maybe I've got a sofa that was underlined too. I don't know. So, cleaning the house out, I don't know.
We play each one kind
I was
of
just
by year
curious,
when we
just
get
the way
there, see what the.
if someone comes to me and says, you know, why can't they do anything about it? So,
I thought legally, if somebody complained about the smoke and stuff, there was, the fire department had the legal right to make them either put it out or,
We can ask them to put it out,
yeah,
or if we deem it's, you know, really a nuisance, we can put it out ourselves.
yeah.
well, they put it out, you guys put it out the second time, I know that. And I think
They
that's because of
probably
what
don't
they had
have, they
lined up.
probably don't have a permit for it either. so.
Well, I'm pretty sure. All right, I was just curious. Just-
A lot of that's state regulations, not local.
Well, I was trying to avoid identifying
Yep.
who these people are. So, but just going through the inspections made me think of,
Well, you did well.
thank you. I'm sure they can tell me who it is, I already know. How is it compared to last year, when last year we had COVID starting in March and April, and does it seem to be getting better?
The COVID list is currently, of residents that have COVID, is currently growing
Really?
from its low point. Yeah,
Well,
I get the report on a daily basis, and
they treat each town, so you get a report from Northfield, a report from Tilden.
well, I get the report and it's a combined list because, and they do separate it, but it's all in one email.
Yeah, but it's just, they listed.
Yep.
I would say COVID-related calls, emergency calls have decreased.
Okay.
Mhm.
And now they make their record.
Yep.
I have nothing else on the chief report.
You had some motions in here.
Yeah, was that for further in the meeting? or-
Later in the meeting.
Okay, yeah, I saw those, and, all right.
There's something in here,
Let's see.
Have you been approached by the school? I know they're trying to fit all the students in with the 3-foot rule, square foot space, things like that.
I reviewed the Southwick School, every
Okay.
single room.
Okay.
And the middle school, not every single room, but some of the rooms, and pretty much gave the facilities director the guidance and we're on the same page.
Okay.
So I know they were concerned about that with,
Yeah, we were concerned about that 3-foot space, 3 foot between, and also I know that you have unfortunately, the way they design schools is the secondary means of egress is the whole back wall, so we lose that whole corridor.
yeah, I think,
It turns into a hallway.
Yeah.
It becomes a hallway, and
Pretty
that's seats that you can't use.
I mean, I think that we understood what was happening and we tried to work with them as much as possible. And I think we're all on the same page. So.
Good. I just knew that was a major thing, trying to get the square footage to get them back.
Yes, I know the principal at Southwick was pretty nervous about it.
Caesar.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got to meet with him and go through every single room.
Can I just ask one question here? The overlapping calls here. Says here, we received, we had 9 overlapping stimulus incidents for the month. We received 1 mutual aid ambulance. We responded to 1. We received 1 mutual aid engine and we responded to 5. I guess my question is it made it, by having these extra guys on, are we taking up the extra calls so we don't have to call in somebody, or is that just a slow month?
It's a combination of the two right now, but the data set is so small, I want to wait till we get much more further into the year before I actually give you guys a report on where I think we're going with the additional personnel. But the idea is that we're not calling outside the ambulances as often, and the response to the second call, a simultaneous response time, is much lower than it was previously.
Because one of the things people are going to look at, and I'm going to look at it too, is by hiring these, if it does not do anything to help us, then why do we have them? I mean, and I shouldn't say why do we have them. It did not affect the number of calls or anything, calling a mutual aid ambulance and stuff. I don't want the people to come back and say, you got 2 guys, you've hired 4 guys now, and we still get the same amount of mutual aid ambulance calls, you're calling them in. So we're not responding.
We're actually not calling them in. In the 2 months not quite 2 months that we've had the 4 additional personnel on, we've vastly reduced the amount of times that we call for mutual aid. Okay. And we've also vastly reduced the incident response time for that simultaneous call, almost by half.
Because
of getting somebody on scene.
if we don't identify this here, so when the time comes, people are going to say it did not matter.
I definitely identified it.
So we have to make sure we can identify it if we're going to keep them guys.
Yeah, and those 2 factors that I just mentioned to you, I just want to have a larger data set. That's the trend right now,
Okay.
but there's not enough data to really.
We got 1.5 months.
Yeah, 1.5
Okay.
months basically.
Okay. it's something you got to keep your eye on, because like I said, this is going to come back and haunt us in the end. You wait and see.
I mean, this number, 9, we only had 9 overlapping calls last month.
Right.
That seems to be a low. Because
It is a low.
It's usually in the 20s.
Yes. It's been quieter call-wise in the last couple of months. and
It fluctuates.
And
Yeah, it does.
the other thing about the overlapping calls, we're gonna be careful on that. We don't get in the habit. We get extra guys, let's just, they don't keep calling us. And I know we're part of mutual aid, and if they need us, they need us, but I don't wanna,
no, I haven't found that
it's
to
like
be the
going to,
case.
it's like going, we had this issue going to Dartmouth. Now that we got extra guys, we're just, let's go to Dartmouth, let's go to Dartmouth. I don't wanna get in the habit of doing that, because we hired, the people in this community hired the people to take care of them, not to transport somebody from the soldiers' home to Dartmouth Dartmouth Hospital. And I don't wanna be caught like that, because then it makes us look stupid.
So we haven't done that.
Okay, I'm just something to keep,
So I think it's more, it depends on what the call is, depends on mutual aid, not how many people are on staff. It's where the call is in the town.
well, I'm sure it does, but, there again, you got 4 guys on,
So in the history, since I've been here, mutual aid, we by far have received very much more mutual aid than we've supplied anybody. And this is the first time in a long time where we've actually supplied more mutual aid than we received that I can recall. And it was with the engine going mutual aid to fires. And it wasn't, the ambulance turned out to be a net zero.
So, so 2 things. The mutual aid, if we are sending the ambulance out, mutual aid, that's revenue.
Yep.
So that's one thing we can keep in mind, that if we have to go to Belmont and transport, or we have to go to Franklin and transport because they're tied up, that's revenue. If we put them on our cot and we roll our tires, that's revenue for us. So it is a plus if we have to.
it is.
And then the second one is a question: what is your operational? How are you handling mutual aid engine requests? 3 people or 4 people?
So, automatic aid, if we're on the initial assignment for a structure fire, all 4 firefighters go if all 4 are available. For mutual aid, where they've
Station
already,
coverage.
station coverage or first alarm or greater, we send 3. And we keep the 4th one here.
Okay.
The reason we send 4 on automatic aid is because potentially we could be the first ones there, and many times we are, depending upon where the
Where
automatic
it
aid
falls.
is. And
Now, I guess my question is, why, if you were, say they had a call in Laconia, and we got called, why would you send 3? That means there's one guy here that can do nothing. If they have an ambulance call, he can do nothing.
Well, it's mutual aid, so
Why wouldn't you send a call person or something like that with them?
Because when the tone goes out, the call person's not in the station
When
at the time.
2 people go, you could send a call person, or two or 3 call people.
If they're in the station at the time of the
they're
call.
around. You don't wait around
Yeah.
to
I just,
respond.
it just, and there again, I don't know, I've been off for a long time, but I remember years ago, we used to call Laconia in. 2 guys, that's all you get. They kept 2 at the station, we got 2, and that's all you got.
So Laconia sends us 3 or 4 every time we get them. Franklin gives us 3 or 4 every time we call them. Belmont, depending upon what time of day it is. If it's at night, we usually get the 2 career personnel and then a student or 2 student interns that are certified firefighters. Sanberton, that's a hit or miss of what we're gonna get from them. During the day, we'll get 2 career people. At nighttime, it's usually all call people, and it might be just 1 person. So when we supply mutual aid, they get 3 from us. If it's automatic aid, they'll get 4 if they're available.
It just, you know,
It's
and there
pretty,
again,
it's
people
pretty
gonna,
reciprocal, Paul.
yeah, I understand it, but people look at things like that and say, well, what good's one guy do? They sent 3 guys there, we got 1 guy here, that's an EMT, and if we have, somebody's having a massive heart attack or something like that there, he can go, but he can't do anything.
So
He can't transport, he can get there and do
He can get
initial
there, but
aid. until
So-
someone gets on the scene
If
direct.
somebody shows up.
So if it's during the daytime, the deputy and myself are around, that we can comprise a crew for an ambulance or medical call. If it's at nighttime, it's more likely we'll be able to get call personnel to help support the person, the career person that's left behind. And when that truck goes to Laconia or wherever, everybody's paged, and then we get a call company response. And so that we do get most of the time, if it's early evening, we'll get some staffing. And if it's for a fire, people love to go to fires.
Well, fires are different than
They come.
medical.
But the other thing is, you gotta remember, our call EMS staff is very small right now. Very small. In a couple of ways.
Yeah.
But that's the downside, is that if it's nighttime and you're short on EMS, because deputies responding from Guilford, you are in Tilton.
Yep.
But, so, I mean, and it is that
There was a
reduction in resources,
Yeah.
big time.
Yep.
There are all kinds of scenarios you can play, and like I said, people look at, there are people out there that just look at stuff like that
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying, I don't run the fire department because that's not my job, but people look at that and say, I wonder why they sent three, you got a paramedic and 2 EMTs on the fire truck, and then you got one back here, and now we have somebody with a massive heart attack or something, you got one,
Mhm.
and it may not even be a paramedic, maybe an EMT.
Yep.
And you gotta wait for another one to come.
Yep.
It's just.
Your resources are reduced
Yeah,
dramatically.
so they just,
And usually if it was a second alarm structure fire or something like that in Laconia, your surrounding communities, yes, we move them forward, but still at a reduction of what moves forward.
yeah,
So you may have tapped out their full-time and you're relying entirely on volunteer or callback personnel for the surrounding area to be available.
yeah, they're not gonna be, so.
Right.
I don't know, it's just,
And we're not the only town that has
I understand that, yeah.
a much reduced call force than what it was years ago.
Everyone does.
That way. It's just the way it is. But, of course, this is still new to us, and I'll still adjust if I feel it need to adjust it going forward to see, well, this just isn't working, so we'll adjust it. Right now, it's working.
That's on the chief's report.
All right, anything else on the chief's report?
He's easy on the deputies, right? He's out running inspections.
That's it.
Running inspections, running trainings, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Probably running his
He
call
loves it
second.
too.
Say again?
He loves it too. For the most part, I'm sure.
Sure.
Yeah, he had 80 inspections.
How many times do you have to go to like a building like Planet Honda to do inspections?
Multiple. They're pretty minimal so far, but they'll be picking up here pretty soon.
Yeah.
And nothing's changed with the fire inspector stuff that was talked about in the minutes from March. I know the building inspector for Tilton,
They hired somebody.
they did, so that's not,
Yeah.
that's a mute matter.
Yeah.
completely.
Well, the town of Tilton has a building inspector. Code enforcement is being done by the land use office.
Okay. I just remember reading that in the minutes,
Yeah.
that was something that we had
12
tabled at
minutes,
the
12.
time.
12 minutes a month,
12 hours a week.
12 hours a week.
Okay.
So I get out of his car and walk around and walk back and see it. But, yeah, he's very qualified. He actually has a big fire background from he used to be in Franklin.
Oh, nice.
And now he's the building inspector for 3 other towns. But part-time.
It's a nice retirement.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
You can only work so many hours a week, so. All right. Old business. Review and sign investment policy. Is that this right here?
That is, I've got a copy here with sign here,
Okay.
tabs, but Oh, shoot. There's nothing's changed. It just has to be, you just have to say you reviewed it.
So we didn't revise it, we just reviewed it.
Nothing is revised,
And nothing changed, nothing.
so
That makes it easy.
it is easy. So here's the copy to be, and all the places are flagged. And everybody is a commissioner because I didn't know who the chair was gonna be.
Fire prevention, is that in here too?
I have it.
Oh, you are gonna talk to us.
Couldn't hear that. Two of them would talk on the wires down, didn't know, couldn't tell if they have a code or not.
Got an H
So
in my
they have
name.
both ambulances.
What?
There's an H in my name.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm still signing it.
Thank
It is?
you.
There is?
There is no
H.
H.
Oh, there was one here.
And
Oh,
I apologize because I've typed it correctly. How many years now?
Oh, I was like,
You know what? I still signed it.
Thank you.
I was like, oh, all these years, I always wrote it J-O-N.
No, you're right.
Okay,
It is J-O-N.
all right, just making sure. Let's see.
Which is funny because on this one it's, okay.
On
Yeah.
that one,
The front page you had the right, it's all the other signatures with the H.
ugh. So it must have been wrong the last time too.
Probably.
Sorry.
Is what it is.
Thanks for the date, John. I thought we wrote day of the week for this.
It's Friday.
Uh-oh. We got too busy.
Yes.
Yeah, here's a simultaneous call.
Take off.
Yeah.
Do you mind talking about this, Kathy? Thank you. Thank you back.
Okay.
We may be here a while, so.
Okay.
Hope not.
No, I don't know. Robust agenda. All right. Oh, yeah. The Safer Grant Continuation Committee.
We have had one person show interest, and that is Scott Lewandowski.
Oh, excellent.
No one else has shown any interest in it at all.
Is it posted on our webpage? Or have we
No.
done anything like that?
No, because this is our first meeting since district
Yep.
meeting. Scott was at district meeting, so he sent in an email.
So, it kind of, actually, it's a lead-in, so I'll let you go first, because I was approached by a member of the public, and our website, and I'm just using this because a way for people to communicate, our website does not have a way for anyone to address the board. Meaning, they can't click on commissioners, they can't click on John Silly if they want to communicate with him, or Paul Ozier, or me.
It doesn't have a hyperlink to their emails?
It does not.
It does not have a hyperlink to any of our emails.
That is correct. It does not.
Alright,
Is there a way to,
Yes, there is.
with the consent of the other, I just thought, of,
absolutely.
you know, I don't know, like, as selectmen, someone can click on selectmen and it goes to the entire board.
Yeah.
And I believe, I'd have to look, but I believe our emails are individually there as well. So if someone just wanted to communicate with me, they can, they just want to communicate with someone else. But I think that is,
I think it should be very accessible for people to reach out to us, because a lot, even last night, we heard someone say, they come to me because they don't want to speak up. We have to, I don't give total grain of salt to that statement, because a lot of times people say, well, this person came and spoke to me, I've heard from a lot of people on this matter, and it's like, really?
yeah.
That's funny, I have not heard anything, and people can reach out, they can send anonymous emails, there's many ways of doing such things. So it's more to hear from the person direct than it is to them go to a state representative. It's like, well, everyone comes to me because they don't want to talk to you. No.
I'm gonna throw the flag on that one.
On what?
It-
Throw the flag on what?
The last night one.
Oh.
That's, and I totally agree with you on that, that I don't believe that was an accurate statement made. I agree. And
I don't know if you noticed, I was a little hot under the collar.
absolutely and legitimately, I saw. Someone from the public said our firefighters were uncomfortable expressing their beliefs on the tower because of the chief.
They're what?
They're
Not firefighters, public.
Public.
public and, he said public and firefighters are uncomfortable coming to the meeting themselves and bringing up the matter with the tower because of the chief.
Which meeting, these meetings, or?
The planning board last night.
Oh, was that recorded?
For fear of
Yes.
reprisal.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Is it online? Is it,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it audio or is it video?
It's web and audio, so it's recorded.
All right. Well, I'll have to listen to it.
Yeah, I did not.
Well, that's,
No, you were legit. I agreed with you, and I just bit my tongue as appropriate, because it's a different capacity.
Because in my mind, it felt like that person was not only attacking me, which I don't care, but he started attacking the people that work for the
Agreed.
department. And actually the commissioners at the same time.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's are fearful of contacting me, there's 3 elected commissioners. that
Exactly.
Certainly, they can contact and address that.
Which is why I absolutely agree there. Our contact information for the emails, for the district assigned emails should be very prominent there. We do have a separate Facebook account, Tilton Northfield Fire and EMS. But still, that's a tool to get stuff out there to people, and you can put a link on there to the webpage, to the drawdown of where those are. So it's a tool to do that. We definitely, our media is.
our social, well, it was brought up, I think it was brought up at the.
It was at the
I don't know if it was
district
at
meeting,
Canadian
so
site. I don't know, it was a lot of things that were brought
district
up.
meeting was brought up there too.
Yeah, maybe that's where I heard it, I don't know.
And the meeting before, because I think you volunteered to help fix it.
Yeah, I did, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be re-elected at the time, so, but I'll still help as well, I still help to do it, so, it's been a weird 6 weeks, so.
You aren't kidding.
Well,
But I would make a suggestion that we post on the webpage and of that Tilton Fire and EMS, even though that looking to start up the
and
safer.
I don't know if we submit something to the Winscombe Echo.
Are they gonna charge us?
No, the Winscombe Echo, no, the Winscombe Echo, all they do is do press releases, so if you send a press release, that seems to be all they publish these
Right.
days.
If it's free, I'm in favor of it.
Yeah, if you just do it as a press release.
Well, they get stories from the Associated Press, which they reprint.
Yeah.
And do press releases and with a little advertising there.
Yeah, then they advertise a lot, and that's it. They don't have any, they'll have a story about, whatever, the local twist that the reporter that was local was known for doing. Being friendly to the towns, so. So I guess we'll have to push that off to May to see if we get any more response.
Well, are we gonna push it out on, because right now, we only have one, but.
We have one.
Yeah, I don't think that's,
Right, so are we gonna post it?
I think we should post it.
Okay.
And do it, who's gonna do the press release for the paper?
Should be the chair,
All right.
with his name behind it.
I will, well, here's a question, can I write an article, submit it to you, they approve it, and we can still publicize it, even though it's not, I don't wanna create a media.
Right,
Right.
as long as we use media in between us,
Well,
Excuse me.
yep, then it's like, hey, can you?
well, I always communicate, like, for the
Yep.
town, I communicate with Jeannie, I don't.
Yep. That way, it's not a quorum if you send it to her and she sends that to us, it's like, let me know you're in, but,
I don't-
yeah,
Yeah.
the reply all.
Yes, please reply all.
No,
No,
That's bad. Just reply to me.
yes,
okay,
okay.
I was just trying to avoid a meeting online,
Yeah.
so.
So we're gonna look at doing it on our webpage, the Facebook page, and the Echo.
Yeah. So what is, Echo, Facebook, and website. Yep.
Do you need a motion or not?
I think we can go with consensus. I don't think it has to be a motion.
I don't believe that has to be a motion.
No.
No.
Are you okay with it?
I'm fine.
You're okay with it?
I am.
All right. 2 out of 3, bet?
I'm hopeful that you're
Yeah,
3 out of 3.
yeah, 3 out of
Would you
3.
pass this down, please?
I didn't ask myself, that's all. What is that?
This is the
This is-
deputy one.
The
Oh.
deputy,
Do you need that?
he
Oh.
needs a copy. It's coming, John.
Yep, okay.
Do you need it?
I pretty much know what it is.
All right.
You want one? I've got a spare.
Don't be excluded from the excitement. What is this? A uniform fire?
Right, we already have this ordinance, and what Tim is doing is updating it to reflect current codes by the state.
That's all it is.
That's it.
It's to reflect the current codes that we're enforcing.
Is it 3 years behind? Or I see 2015 here, that's 6
Yeah,
years
so
behind.
the-
Is that-
It's behind.
It is
Well-
behind because the state hasn't adopted the 2018 yet.
Okay, so the state hasn't, because usually the state stays 3 years behind.
Right,
And then, okay.
So
so we stay with the state.
the
Okay.
2018 code was supposed to be adopted last year, but it was vetoed in one of them conglomerate bills. And so it's again in the legislature now to be adopted. And when that happens, we'll move up to 2018.
Right. So does this allow us to go to 18 when the state adopts 18?
No, we'll have to come back.
No,
to
you'll
it.
have
to
to,
revisit
you'll
it.
have to
Okay.
redo it.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Yeah, that's typical. Like I said, I always knew it being 3 years behind.
So do we have to make a motion on this?
I think so.
Yes, you
Yes.
do.
Do we have to sign it?
Motion to.
You don't have to sign it. You just have to make a motion and second it.
I'll make a motion to adopt the Tilton Northfield Fire and EMS ordinance adopting NFPA 1 Uniform Fire Code based on 2015 edition.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Oh. All right.
So
Started to buy.
Yeah.
I included in your packet something that's not on the agenda because I was reviewing, it's a personal policy update. So it's, should be in there.
Yeah, it starts with, it's page 21. of the
Yeah.
bottom.
Which is
21 or 20?
20.
21.
Starts on page 21, but the change is on page 22. I gave you the whole section of the policy.
Yeah.
Basically, going through the safer regulations and how we can get reimbursed for certain things, and in the safer application, and this is our policy all along, it's just not in writing anywhere, is that when we send our EMTs for recertification hours, we pay them time and a half, because it's over and above their normal working hours. Safer, the folks that run Safer want to see it in writing as a policy. So this is putting in writing what we've been doing all along. And it's number 3, because I don't think it came out in color.
Yeah, it's shaded.
Chief,
Yep,
that's not what we do.
if they're not on duty.
It doesn't say that, though. You need to, I believe you need to put in there that,
So, let's back up here a little bit. So if they're not on duty, we're paying them time and a half.
right,
Right.
Well,
but if they're on duty,
They just get regular.
they get their regular pay. So like the research for the EMT, the guys will go to that if they're on duty, someone comes in to cover for them for that time period.
Yeah,
The guy going to class gets his regular pay, the guy coming in gets time and a half. because it's overtime for him.
Right.
But if it's when they're not working, they get paid their time and a half, nobody covers them.
So,
Yeah, think about that.
It's what we've been doing forever,
so if I was working
yes,
and I'm going to an EMT class down in Concord,
yes,
John comes in to cover for me, I just get my straight pay.
yes,
It's like, and it, let's just say the class runs from 9 to 3,
right,
so it's 6 hours
right,
travel time. So John has to come in at 8 to cover for me. Excuse me. I get back to the station at 4, so I'm gone for 8 hours. I get my regular 8 hours, and I go back on shift.
right,
And then John goes home,
right,
and he only got 8 hours of overtime.
right.
So he's not getting the whole shift, he's
No,
just getting.
just the time that
Just the
it's
coverage.
covering you.
Well, then, explain it.
Not on duty.
So-
Full-time, non-exempt employees not on duty shall receive.
You know, look at it this way, here's one of them ways, for a way to go after money to prove, we'll pay you to go to the class, but why should we pay you overtime?
It's beyond their normal, we're requiring them to have that license,
So we have to pay
so
them.
we have to, and we're requiring them to maintain that
Let
license.
me, okay, wait, I understand that, but
It's a Fair Labor Standards Act.
if I don't work any during the week, but I go to this class and get time and a half,
It has to be over the number of hours you normally work.
Right.
But they're not going to the class to get the overtime, they're covering a shift to get the
Right.
overtime.
no, the person covering the shift gets the overtime.
Right,
Yeah,
Right.
but the guy that's going to class gets straight time.
right.
Yes.
Well,
Overtime.
if he's working, he gets straight time.
Yeah.
If he's not on duty.
Well, that's
the
what I
class
mean,
is
if he's not on duty, he gets time and a half.
That's
Right.
correct.
Because it's above and beyond his regular shift.
See, that, to me, his requirements are, I'd have this license, and his requirements are to do this here. We're willing to pay you, but why time and a half?
Yeah,
That-
I have a problem with that
And
too.
there again, this is a way, we want to look at ways so we can keep these guys, but see, people understand that, and it's, hey,
I'm pretty sure,
I'd have to see if other places do that, because I don't.
exactly. I
I-
don't think all do. I think they play straight time. If you have to go down to the academy and take a class, they pay you straight time to be down there, in addition to your hours. I mean, the fire service does a lot of swaps and things like that, so I will ask around on that.
We don't,
You have to be careful because the Fair Labor Standards Act,
So they're
because that falls
working,
under there.
so if, I forget how the schedule goes, but so they worked yesterday, and the class was today. They've been their normal day off, so they go to this class on their own, they're not, so they get time and a half of that because that's outside their normal working hours.
Correct,
Because they would work 40 hours this week, or 42 hours, whatever
Right.
it is, between their different shifts.
right.
So they're going to do this, now they don't have the day out, they don't have that, is it 24 on?
24 on, 48 off.
All right, so
24 on,
they worked
that's-
yesterday, they got off shift at 7 o'clock this morning,
Mhm.
and they went down and worked, or took the class from 9 to 3 at Concord. And then, they come back, now they don't have the rest of their day off, but they didn't have their whole day off. So it's 42 hours if that's what they get paid, right? 42,
Right.
based on, it averages out to 42 hours.
Right,
So that class was 8 hours with travel time and whatnot. It's another 8 hours. So if you get it, you're in overtime.
but we're not paying them travel time.
No, I know, but I'm just using,
Yeah, I know.
we don't pay them, it's bad, I'm not trying to imply that they get overtime for travel. They don't get paid for travel. The
No.
class is 9 to 3, they get 6 hours of overtime.
Right,
That's hard for me to. I can see the guy coming in on his, you know, on his day off to cover and get time and a half, because he's actually, I don't know, it just doesn't make.
How does swaps work out?
Even for even.
Right. So,
So say, I'm having a birthday party for my son on Saturday, and I've used up my personal time, but I want to take the day off, so I ask Eric, you want to work for me Saturday, and I'll work for you Sunday?
Yeah.
That's how it's going.
straight time. And I understand how they work, but it's at straight time.
It is,
Yes, yeah, it's not overtime.
it's hour for hour.
What about if it falls on different
Different
days?
weeks.
Doesn't
They
matter.
can rack them up or
It's
down
straight
the
time
road.
for straight time.
Okay, so if, I don't know, when's the pay period, what day is the end of the pay week?
It's Sunday.
Sunday, so John
Sunday's the
worked,
last day of the week.
okay, so John, if I cover John on Sunday,
Mhm.
right, or in this example, I switch with the chief on Sunday, he covers me on Monday,
Mhm.
it's different week,
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Still straight
What
time.
happens is that
or I'm sorry, I covered
as
him
far
on.
as payroll goes, it
Yeah.
shows up that you worked on Sunday.
Right,
Well, the chief worked on
Yeah.
Sunday and you worked on
but I just
Monday.
swap in a 24 for a 24,
Yeah.
and that's it. Okay.
Do they do swaps in advance of each other by like weeks or months?
No, usually they're really close together.
Okay, in the past practice, it used to be people would rack up swap times. Yeah, I'll cover you. Yeah, I'll cover you. I'll cover you. And then as they get near the end, it's like, hey,
See you
you owe
later.
me that one, you owe me that one, you owe me that one, and then they have like 3 weeks of not working at all.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't happen.
Okay,
Doesn't happen.
that was an old practice, so
So-
the old days that they
so-
would do that.
Swaps and vacation time, personal days, that all comes before me to be approved. It goes through Kathy, then it comes to me, so we keep a tight rein on it.
I personally have some concerns I have to look into on this, about the time and a half for the training, because it is required that they maintain their certifications for their job. I'm definitely going to ask around on a couple of options I have.
But you have to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want the Department of Labor coming in.
We've already had a problem with them.
We have to make sure that we are appropriate in how we
Mhm.
handle things. And that's one of the things.
Well, yeah, I'm
Well,
going to.
it's just like if
Yeah.
you work for the DOT and a Saturday storm comes in, you get overtime because you
Right.
already worked your 40 hours.
Right.
But does the DOT pay you to go down and do your commercial driver's license, hazmat endorsement and all that?
They have classes that they send them, but
They
they're
do?
generally held during their
Which is equivalent
during
to
business
this.
hours.
Which is equivalent to this, for their fire academy and stuff. Because their EMT recertification every year is 72 hours. It's a 24-hour refresher, followed by 48 hours of basic or ALS, depending on which category they fall. All of our guys would be ALS. So yeah, they all have to have additional 24 of ALS and then make up the additional with CEUs based on state protocols.
A lot of that, we do in-house online now and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But
that-
then, that's right now, because of the COVID, they changed a lot of the,
So how are you conducting your AEMT refresher each year? Because I'm sure not everyone's the
so
same
that
cycle,
was in person. That was in person,
which is 3 days.
4 days, 4 or 5. It's
I thought it was
Thursday,
24.
Thursday.
Okay, that's how you did, okay.
So in other words, when they come in and take this course online, it's my day off, so I'm gonna come in and take the course.
No.
Online is done on duty.
It just,
Yeah, everything online is done on duty.
okay.
But you can't do the whole thing online. With the research, you have to do it, I believe you have to do 24 hours of in-class time. Unless you just want to take the test every 2 years.
And
We have some that do
We
that.
have some that do that, too.
And that's an option, but then we're paying for that test every 2 years, I assume.
It's only $15, whatever the
Is
cost
it?
of the
It's a
relicensing
lot
is.
cheaper if they took the test than to take
Okay.
the refresher. A lot cheaper.
Yeah.
I guess I'm with you, John, it kind of strikes me that,
So
that's,
if you read number 2 above, which you
Yep.
guys have approved, this just number 3 is just to say that it's for EMS training. It just has to say in there for EMS training that when they're not working, that they will receive the time and a half pay. Number 2 says they receive time and a half pay for any hours worked additional anyways, over the 42 hours. And I wouldn't even brought it up, but it's one of the things that the safer requirements say that we have to address certain policies.
I'm not comfortable tonight. And I know you need it, but I have to sit on a computer and do some research myself first.
But we can address it next month because the situation is not, I'm putting in for the first quarter reimbursement, but this situation isn't contained within the
Okay.
first quarter reimbursement, so.
I just want to dig into this and that a little bit better, knowing it before say yes. Not trying to, it's not a safer grant personnel thing, it's a policy overall that I just want to make sure I fully understand the policy before I can stand behind the policy. I want to make sure, read into the fair statement, definitely want to read that. Before I can feel comfortable, I want to make sure I understand the black and white behind it.
Sure.
But it doesn't impact you right now if we were to table this till next month?
No. It would probably start, it won't be, in fact, for the safer folks, nobody, it'll be closer to the end of the year when we start having those types of things.
I just, where it's the first time seeing it, I want some absorption. I personally want some absorption and research time.
And I have to put those 3 words in there too.
Which 3 words, please?
Not on duty.
Full-time, non-exempt employees, not on duty.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, I just want to make sure,
The rest of it
yep, okay.
is okay.
Can I make a motion that we table this one until next regular monthly meeting?
All right. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
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 Revisit it in May.
Nay.
Okay,
Just have moved today.
okay.
All right, where are we now?
New business.
New business, thank you. Keeping us straight in line here. Warrant article.
Yes.
Thank you. That's all right. All right, there you go. That's at the end of the chief's report, I think.
Yes.
Part of it.
Yeah, it was part of
Some
it.
of it, yeah.
All right, so these two things have nothing to do with each other. All right. So warrant article 6, design, engineering, architectural fees.
So my understanding is that if the commissioners want to move forward with the building committee's recommendation for one station located at Park Street, we can have the architect design a building on that piece of property that will fit the department's needs, that basically for space-wise that were addressed in the previous committee, which is about a 14,000 square foot fire station. Basically, that was for 8 bays, basically, of equipment. I don't remember if it was 4 or 5 sleeping
I think it was 4.
dorms.
It
I
was,
thought it was 4 plus 2.
4, yes, that
it
was
was
4.
a dual for student
Students.
capability.
That's
Yes,
right.
it was 4 individual bed, 4 lockers per room, so you
Yeah.
could have 4 shifts of up to 4 people, plus a double essentially
Plus
for
the
2
maintenance.
students, that was the intent.
Administrative space, a training room, and support space in the apparatus room for storage, gear cleaning, decontamination type of stuff. He's already done a design of that nature for Manville Road, which I think I sent to you, John, on your, I think I sent it to all of you, but under your request.
I requested, yeah.
I'm sure the design will probably need to be adjusted to fit the property located at Park Street. There was another design that he has, but I can't find it, and that was for a 2-story fire station located on the Tilton School property. I'm sure he probably still has those files, but I couldn't find it in a PDF format.
So part of something else that came up with this is someone brought up design-built plans concept. I know Samberton Police Station, they're going with a design-build, where they kind of bring in the architect and they tell them, this is what we want built to, and things like that, as opposed to having this, how do we want to do it? Because the committee really didn't get much into the design, it was more
It really wasn't their
It was
charge.
more, right, it wasn't, so that's part of why I was bringing it up earlier, is do they want to go with a station design, kind of like what you did with the police department. I know Samberton is going through that now with their police department. A few people from the public have potential interest in it.
Well, I think we need to rekindle the building committee. Find
With a
out,
different charge.
or expand the charge of some sort. But the other thing, just me thinking about, and it just went this way. It was suggested at town meeting, an additional piece of equipment, a tanker truck, as a potential. So I guess we have to make a decision as, do we want to increase our apparatus by one, I don't know what the, would you say 8 bays? I don't know what that covers for the 8 bays. Whereas, okay, if we're going to
Well,
potentially
8
look at
bays
doing
one
this,
thing, but I think we actually had a footprint for 11 apparatus.
Yeah.
It would, to include like your utility inside and things like that. So if you did a station committee, design committee, then you could have that incorporated if it's feasible to fit it all in there, because it's how many doors you want to the front and how many apparatus you want trapped behind, how much distance space you want to go from one to another.
well, I just
Do you
so
want to
whatever
pay the
way.
20,000 for each double stairway and elevator and all that, or single story to eliminate 60,000 right off the bat?
So I would be interested to see, one is the current members of the committee interested in continuing on?
Caitlin is, Paul Blithedale might be, depending on how easygoing the committee is,
Yep.
is how he phrased it. He doesn't need the negativity. You could probably, the commissioners here could probably reach out to the previous. Lisa is now in Florida.
Full time?
I don't know if she's snowboarding yet or not.
Yeah, I haven't seen her for quite some time.
Oh, wasn't she an architect too?
Yeah.
She was the engineer. She was a very good resource.
Yeah.
So you had Kevin Cate, Kevin Waldron, Paul Blithedale, Tom from the Call Force. You had Tim Ames from the full-time, Todd Ordell,
Odell.
Odell, oh, sorry,
I don't know if
from,
he's still in town.
I don't know.
I
So
don't know.
I don't know if he's still, because he was on planning board, but he hasn't shown up the last couple of weeks. I thought I heard that he moved out of district.
Caitlin is still around, but she's pretty involved with a lot of other activities, but she did have an interest.
Yeah.
So if the commissioners wanted to, you could try to research
Well, I'd like to
that.
see,
and
at least by our next meeting, and then we could give the charge. And I'd like to, because that piece of property has changed with the purchase of the 5,000 square feet, and that, now that can change some things that maybe, I don't know.
It offers possibilities that were restricted before.
Yeah. Well, because I looked, because you said it was about the Smokey the Bear sign, right? Coming this way.
That's
That's
where
our current.
our current line.
Right, but now, I'm
It's
looking
all
at it, it goes out now.
It goes to the middle of
You
the
could
road.
almost,
You have more ramp space, more front door ramp space to stack your
Yeah.
apparatus and things like that. So
I-
there's a lot of potential.
I think, you know, at least maybe just, not necessarily what the inside of the building looks, you know, the walls are 6 feet tall or anything like that, but I would be interested in just seeing what, you know, what can we fit there? You know, can we go this way, this way, this way, I don't know. So,
So do you want to put out feelers on the webpage looking to reestablish the station design committee and to send in your name if you're interested? And then the commissioners can address it from there next month?
do we give priority to the current members?
If you have them submit their
Well-
names, and then you could decide on it from there.
Yeah, the current, or the committee that, the fire station committee of 2019, they actually finished their charge, so
Yes.
it's,
So actually.
it's really be kind of like a new committee
It would be
now.
a station design committee.
Yeah.
All right.
And then they would have the report. This is the report of the pros and cons of the options, as well as if some of the people did stay on, they would have their internal knowledge of the debates and stuff like that.
Which will have all over it.
I just don't have another $100,000, but that can go like that.
And that's the whole thing, is
Well,
trying
actually, it
to,
was just a moving of money, it wasn't really, did we raise and appropriate?
No,
No.
we transferred.
We
it from the
transferred.
outside
we transferred it
fund.
to a non-lapsing.
All right.
Yeah.
So put the feeler out there like we are with the Safer Grant.
Sure.
Another
I'll
press
get,
release?
I'll get together with you on that one.
Okay, that sounds good.
Well, I guess we'll have lunch one day, if we're going.
And I don't mind staying on the committee if we want as a commissioner's rep, or if someone else wants it, that's fine. I
I
mean,
thought you did a fantastic.
we had a pretty smooth going job there. I mean, we had some debates, but there was no fisticuffs at all. And it seemed to move. But if someone else wants to, I'm fine with that too.
Oh,
No, I don't.
so wait, shouldn't the person representing the commissioners from that write that article?
I have no problem with that too, if you'd like.
Whatever, I'll just do it. That's right. Works for me.
As the chair, you can delegate.
I
Yes?
can. All right. Look forward to reading your work.
Okay, you want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
I'm posting, and I'll send it to Kathy, that she can share.
So warrant article 7 is the land purchase.
So this is where the first suggested motion on the chief's report
Oh,
would
all
come
right.
into play.
Hold on. All right. I'll make a motion to authorize G.C. Carr to sign the appropriate documents to purchase a parcel of land adjacent to 149 Park Street in Northfield, labeled as new parcel A on a plan drawn by Joseph M. Whitecart, LLS Incorporated, land surveyor from the New Hampshire Department of Transportation, for an amount not to exceed the voted sum of $5,000.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yes.
All right.
Shouldn't, because when I read this before, shouldn't the chair of the fire commissioners be doing that since it's a funding thing?
So the chair can do it.
Or you can delegate.
Or delegate,
Right.
it makes it easier when you delegate, because I'm here every day and
No,
able to.
And I understand that, it's just that we're trying to get the people, of the public to see that we're involved and we know what's going on and stuff like this. When I read it, that's just one of the things that come to mind, because right now, there's a no faith in the commissioners from some of the public, and this kind of,
I think that's a very, very small.
I know it's a very small amount, but baby steps.
That's fine.
Just, that's my thoughts on that.
I have no problem. I'll go either way.
I guess guess my thought is, you may be right, John, maybe it should be one of, you know.
What the chair would be the one
Chair
that would sign
the
it.
one to sign it,
Yeah.
to show that at least we do know what's going on here, and I guess I agree with you, yeah.
Okay. When the document's ready, I'll bring it to
Yep.
the chair's attention.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
So that means the motion has to be
Yeah, we have to amend the
modified, voted on, or,
If you're having the chair sign it, you don't have to do anything. Just take a vote and the motion can fail. You don't have to make a motion for the chair to sign.
motion. So we would say all those in favor and
all those in favor of, spell it out clearly.
I guess.
No, all those in favor, no, all those in
motion-
favor of
on
the motion.
Signify by saying aye.
Right,
All those opposed, say nay.
right.
Right, but if you say aye, then we're going with the original motion rather
That
than the
is
chair.
Well, that's,
So you'd have to go nay on the first one.
There is no other motion.
there's no other motion.
Right.
It was just a discussion.
Oh,
But there was a motion and a second, and we opened
Correct.
for discussion.
Yep.
So now,
You're going to vote on the motion.
we vote on it. If the vote fails, it falls back to the.
then it could, okay. That's, I'm just trying to make sure it's,
Mhm.
right.
All right. All those in favor say aye. Hearing none. All those opposed say nay.
Nay,
Hey,
I'll abstain.
okay.
Motion fails.
All right. Something failed. So we're gonna
Eric,
need,
say motion failed.
motion failed.
Thank you.
You talk on the thing all the time.
Motion to authorize.
The chair decided.
Yeah.
Right.
So do we need to make a motion for the chair, or you said we don't have to per parliamentary?
The board had already voted to buy the property and just,
Okay,
So the chair will just,
this was just.
right, it's
Having-
housekeeping. Yeah.
All right.
So that way when Eric can sign it on behalf of the fire district as the acting, as the current chair, and
Right.
it goes into,
mhm.
Okay, just let me know when and where to be. I'll be there. I'll respond to another call. I'll get with you. All right, let's see, this is Article 15, a new engine 21E1. I'll make a motion to authorize Chief Citar to sign a contract to purchase a new engine for an amount not to exceed the voted sum of $720,000.
I will second that.
Is there, no, there is a second. All right. Any discussion?
So, I know you're gonna do the best on behalf of the district of the cheapest, the best product that we can for the least amount of money. So absolutely, I don't want you to think otherwise.
So it's gone out to bid.
Yep.
I have the price, it's right here in front of me.
Okay,
And I also, so this is what has to happen. For us to get this, the best price, the price is, here it is. You sign the contract, the price will be $705,787.32 when we sign the contract. We will receive an invoice, and we have to pay the invoice within 1 month. Same as the last truck that we bought. The trade-ins are a separate deal, and with the, because Sutphen, the contract for the engine's with Sutphen,
yes.
not with Larry Dingy. Larry Dingy's taking the trade-ins. He will take engine 1 on trade when the new engine shows up
It is in service.
and is in service.
Yep.
And he will give us $5,000 for it,
For the engine one.
for engine 1.
So does that lower the price of engine 1 to 700,000?
No, because
Oh, it's a separate deal.
it's a separate deal, and when we get that $5,000, it goes into the general fund. It can't go towards the purchase
Correct.
of the engine because they're two separate budgets.
Okay.
When the new engine arrives, the second new engine, I should say, next
Right.
year, sometime next year, he will take engine 3 in trade and will give us $15,000 for that. And so this year, sometime this year, we'll get a check for $5,000 for engine 1, and sometime next year, when the second new engine goes in service, we'll get a check for $15,000 for engine 3.
Other questions on this is, when is the signing approximate?
So, for the new contract of this vehicle, he has to provide me with the contract, for which I will then send to Primex for review, and then it will send to council for review, which is another question I have to ask you. Generally, what I've done with these contracts is I had Sean Chandler review contracts. I don't know if you want me to continue with that, considering other matters right now, and have our other council review the contract.
So a separate council was
Well,
on?
I
So-
can see the potential conflict of interest there,
Yeah,
where someone that sits as a commissioner, actually he's the chairman of.
Oh, that's who it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that, no.
Yes.
Yeah, I would wanna go with our current council, sorry. I didn't
I-
associate the name,
I
that's
agree,
why I
but
was
I want to
wondering.
leave that decision up to you.
Yeah, no,
And so,
with the district council, just because I think that's a smart way of doing it.
so when Suffolk provides me with the new contract, it'll be submitted to both Primex and our attorney for review, and upon their approval, I will sign the contract, not until before that's done. And that's been the practice in the past vehicles that we've purchased.
For a question for discussion, can that contract be sent to the commissioners for review ahead of time as well, just to
Yes.
look at?
Absolutely.
Just because this is the stuff that's come up with the past things, did you know what you bought and things like that, that way we've put the eyes on it before the final signature and things like that, and it's just showing that we're stepping into what the public,
Absolutely. I will provide you with all that information.
Yeah, I agree.
No, not a problem.
No, I had a question.
Oh.
Going against what you just said,
Oh,
going with what you just said, I think, with transparency. I haven't seen the other bids.
So when it was a HGAC, which we sent it out, it's the Houston Galveston Area Commission. And so I don't even see the other bids. HGAC takes care of all of that. And
So we don't know if
they just send us the low bid.
it is, okay.
So I couldn't tell you what it is.
Okay, I just, okay.
I mean, this is
And that's
essentially
the same-
engineered the same as the last
No, that's,
one.
oh, I know that, and I just, but I know like, they made some tweaks to the one that we're getting this year.
The engine one replacement.
Yeah.
It-
The engine three.
Mirrors and mirrors
engine
were
three
one
replacement.
place.
Yeah, so those tweaks were included with the new.
Okay. And they're included in
Mirrors
there,
was
so
one of
fine.
them.
Yeah, this was one of them.
Okay.
I think some of the hinges, you went with a piano hinge or something like that, you changed some hinges on something, I thought.
I honestly don't recall that, but
But I remember the mirrors was
Yeah.
when you went out there and actually,
there was some minor tweaks, and that was handled. And I remember,
No, I just was thinking that.
and it's the same with the ambulance, it's another HGAC bid.
So,
So my understanding is, I'll get the contracts
Yeah.
for either, both of those. They'll both go to Primex for review, they'll both go to the attorneys for review. Upon their return from those organizations, I will give them to commissioners for review, and once you approve them, then I will sign the contract.
I'm good with that.
so, okay.
That would be-
I was just thinking there should be an amendment to say, not before it's been reviewed by the commissioners.
Then, who made the motion?
I made the original motion.
Do you want to put in there to sign a contract once approved by commissioners?
Yeah, I was just looking for an amendment just to, not
Upon
to,
approval, at the end, put upon approval of the board.
Yeah.
okay.
You're so smart.
That's fine.
So I'd like to make that amendment.
I'll second the amendment.
So this, do we have to vote on the amendment?
You haven't voted yet.
I know, but we have to vote on
Because it's
the
an
amendment. I made an amendment to the motion. So do we have to vote on the amendment first, before we vote on the motion?
Well, you made a motion, I made a second. I'm in favor of it.
Okay.
He shook his head.
Yep. I'm in favor.
Then your amendment's all set, so now go for your vote.
Okay. So, any other discussion?
No.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
So you wanna make that,
I'll make a motion to authorize Chief Satar to sign a contract to purchase a new ambulance for the amount not to exceed the voted sum of $200.
stop,
Uh-oh,
put the amendment in there before you.
I was gonna read that at the end. It's at the very end of
Oh, okay. I thought you put it in. the
it. Upon
minutes.
approval of the board.
Yeah, okay.
I was on it that time.
Sorry.
So the same exact thing, except with upon approval of the board at the end.
I'll second it.
Oh, you sure it's 285,000?
I know it's a lot.
So the price of the ambulance is
Yes, please.
gonna be $274,035, I think 0 cents.
What was the amendment?
One more time.
274,035, I think it says .00. These prices do not, the only thing that this price does not include on either one of these is the transfer of the radios.
Okay.
So there's plenty of money in the budget to do that.
Minimal, and you're gonna do that through Ospey Mountain or?
OME will do
Yeah,
that. So
through-
they'll take
Do these-
the radios out of the old vehicle and put them in the new
These
vehicle.
all come with decals and stuff like that.
Oh,
We don't have to drive it down to
Or painted or anything, it's. Okay.
lights,
Everything.
blinkers, headlights, gas. We'll take a gas from the first.
Until it gets here.
In a 10-year.
Well, it's only gotta come from New Hampshire, right? It's not.
10-year
Comes here
warranty.
at free?
Comes,
I know
no,
they
they
even-
drive it from, both vehicles actually are made in Ohio. The engine is, the chassis is made in Ohio, and then because it's a stainless steel body, that is assembled and put on the vehicle in Pennsylvania at their East Pennsylvania plant, and then the vehicle will be driven to Cornish for upfitting, and that's when we bring the trade in. The ambulance is made in Ohio. It's driven to Greenwood Emergency Vehicles in North Attleboro, where we'll go down and inspect it, make sure it's all set. They letter it there, and then it's delivered here. And same with the engine. Once the engine's all done, they'll deliver it to us, I assume. Yeah, he should bring it, because he's got to train us on it. So, yeah,
Well, hopefully it's more than a day or two.
Now, who
there's
brings-
4 days of training.
Larry brings it?
Larry.
Yeah. I know, we did the other 2 weeks, we did the old engine 3. He came, the day he came, we had a structure fire.
Well,
And I remember taking the truck, he showed me how to run it right there.
So, because there was a video that I saw there of an ambulance chase, stolen ambulance in
Oh, in
Dallas.
Texas,
In
yes.
Texas, yeah.
Yep.
That's the type of ambulance we get.
Yeah, actually, our ambulances do have a locking mechanism.
So
with
unless
the
you know the
emergency
trick,
button.
you
Right.
can't get the thing out of gear.
Okay. But it also has an automatic, or one device locks all exterior cabinet doors.
Yep.
Does the engine come with that? Do we have like exterior locking capabilities on the engine?
No.
Is there a potential of that in the new engine or the engine for replacement?
That would have to be, it's something that would be outside the current contract.
Right. Just
Specification.
nowadays with theft and all that, and if we have to park the vehicle outside for whatever reason, it's just, that is a concern. I mean, not as bad as the drugs on the ambulance, but still.
I'll look into it and see what it entails. I don't know anybody that has anything like that on an engine right now.
I was gonna say, I don't.
I'm
remember.
sure in Boston and New York they have things like that.
I'll find out. I got buddies in both places. So.
Yeah, ask them what they do down there, because they have more pilfering issues than we do.
Ratchet straps.
Oh, we have to vote. Any other discussion? Paul?
Nope.
Nope, all right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. Thanks, Mark. 20, we did warrant Article 16.
Yes.
All right, 2021 meeting dates.
The reason that is on there is because currently you meet the first Tuesday of the month. And I just want to know if you want to continue that schedule. Or if you want to change it.
The only input I have into that is the first Tuesday of the month is sometimes very close to the first day of the month.
It is the first day.
And it's
For the report.
for the report and for you guys to review anything prior to that is
Well, June
Sometimes
is the
that-
first Tuesday.
sometimes many times impossible
Exactly.
to
Right.
get you any information beforehand.
July comes right after the observed holiday for the 4th.
Right.
Well, the downside of it is, what other,
Well, the week of the 4th, I'm on vacation.
No, I'm just looking at
What
the
about the
fall.
second Tuesday every month? How's that?
I am no longer committed to anything else on Tuesday nights.
Okay.
I am no longer on the planning board or the zoning board or anything else, so I am free on
Second Tuesday of the
second
month.
Tuesday. That's just me.
currently, second Tuesdays, you said they're harder on you?
It's easier,
Oh, it's easier, okay.
yeah.
Because either that or we're looking at Wednesday.
I'm not coming on Wednesday.
That's golf night. Jeez, did you learn that lesson last year?
So the second Tuesday, I could do for pretty easily.
Paul?
Yeah, I can do the second Tuesday.
All right. So then we're going to change it to the second Tuesday? Okay.
Which will help with your reports and it will,
Yeah, make it
Just
easy.
have to remind.
she'll
The
send it on
April
the calendar,
6th.
don't worry.
I know.
Oh, yes, I will.
Well, there's a budget committee meeting on April 16th,
That
right?
is correct.
I actually have to put that in my calendar.
Yeah.
I'm not able to do that.
It's on the, it's
No, I
on
have
the
to put that
calendar, I
on
sent
this
you. Yeah,
calendar.
I know.
Otherwise, is that at 6?
It is.
Is it here?
For your request. It's at Northfield.
Northfield Town Hall.
Okay.
Okay.
That might change- that could possibly change.
I hope so. That's awful late.
Well, things are changing.
Already?
Yeah.
Alright, so-
All right, so I guess we'll keep those the second Tuesday.
Okay.
All right, we don't have to vote on that, do we?
No.
All right, ISO reevaluation April 20th.
Just to notify the board that the ISO is coming out on April 20th to do a review of the department for the rating of the fire district.
And so it's a rating of the fire department or of the entire district such as water
It
supply?
includes dispatch and water.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting when I saw that on there.
Yep, so I've been in contact with the person who will be coming out here, and they've already requested the information to contact the water district and the dispatch agency so that she can separately get the information that she requires from them.
That's appropriate, yeah.
I've already supplied her with a bunch of pre-inspection information, and I've gathered all the material necessary for her on-site visit in a great big folder on my desk.
So this is just an audit with the administration, it's not the board on anything of that, it's
No.
just,
It's-
I've done ISO with the CST,
Yep,
the seat inspections, I've had to build the whole, so, but it's just the administration handles that.
right, so
Just for our awareness.
she's looked at mostly records.
Yep.
She had me pull a certain number of different types of reports for her to review and audit, training records, apparatus inventories, things like that.
Where do you feel we're at with that for our housekeeping of our records, maintenance program and all that?
We're pretty good,
Okay.
yeah, we're good.
Training, physicals, everything
All
is
that
on
stuff,
par, maintained?
Yep, so when I first arrived here, we were a 5
9.
9. And now we're a 3-3.
So the lower is better.
Low, yeah, the smaller number is better. If you have a 3, you're doing pretty good. It's very difficult to get to a 1 or a 2, and we'll never achieve that because we will never have the staffing that they require for those.
I'm just worried about the water impact. It's not gonna be resolved by then.
No,
And that is a yearly or
every 5 years.
it's a 5-year
Yeah.
cycle? So the rating we get on this, even if we fix it in May, is the rating for 5 years
Well, no, you can submit to them that
to have an
things have
adjustment?
changed and
Oh, okay.
redone,
I was
yeah.
gonna say, can you ask for like a reevaluation or something?
Yeah,
Or
Oh, okay.
you can always do that, but
Okay.
especially if there's a significant change in the conditions that were there when they visited.
Okay.
It's a process, but it's doable.
All right. Moving on to the review the minutes of, oh, we've quite a few minutes here.
Yes, you do.
So I guess we'll start with the review of the minutes of February 2nd, 2021.
I'll make a motion of the minutes for February 2nd, 2021. Copy here if anyone needs it.
Approve it, or,
Um,
oh, I just saw he just made a motion.
To accept.
Oh, to accept, I didn't hear you say that, sorry.
I probably didn't.
All right. So I'll second it. I'll break the second.
Yep.
All right, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Bring to the floor the minutes of March 2nd, 2021.
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes of March 2nd, 2001, as written.
I'll second that. Any discussion?
No, I didn't have any on that one either.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passed.
Good.
All right.
Did you bring the January 27th?
I did not, I didn't go back that far.
No.
No.
They were the non-public?
Yeah, I have a feeling you might have them in your hands.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
You were the one that did those because I wasn't at that meeting.
That was,
The
That was the
FS
chief's
Spalding.
review.
Yeah, with the chief.
I guess we'll have to go back and get those for next month, because,
Okay.
Okay. Well, I have the other two, so Paul, if you would,
wait, January 27th, or,
January 27th, that's when the chief's review was. That's,
oh, that
Not
one.
bad.
Oh,
Spalding?
yeah, sorry.
Okay.
This one is
I will-
for March 2nd.
right.
That was the night of my daughter's car accident, sorry.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, you have things on your mind that night.
Still things in my mind. All right, so, wait, do we have two?
You have two. You had two non-publics that night.
All right. Let's see, oh, that was for that
Okay,
one?
the reports, yep.
Yeah, what was this one?
Yep.
Are they generic enough?
Yep, yeah.
All right,
So who, what, where, that's all. I'll make a motion. Can we approve non-public and public?
Yes. Yes, you can, if you don't discuss it.
Okay. I will make a motion to accept the minutes of the March 2nd non-public session minutes as written.
Now it says non-public 1 and 2.
Right.
Both of them?
Both.
Okay. I'll second it.
motion and second, any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion
I'll give it
passes.
right back to you.
Okay, good. They just,
All right,
you're not sealing them, are you?
I don't think, they were generic enough.
we have the manifests.
And batteries we discussed already.
Oh, I need help going into non-public for the next one.
It's
Oh, we-
okay.
No. Are we doing anything in that?
Yes, we do, because we
Oh,
have
yes,
the,
yes, yes, yes.
and I have the paperwork so that you can. I have the MS 232, which is the voted appropriations that needs to be
Yes.
signed. And I printed three face sheets on this one so that I had everybody as a chair. So I just pulled out the two that were not.
Right. All right,
everybody has to sign that.
Yes.
We do?
Yeah,
Yes.
here, I'll give that back to you. All right.
Yeah, there's no way.
Hey,
Leave off the H for heckling.
I know.
All right. Are we going into non-public or?
Yes,
Disposition.
yes, for the disposition reports.
Yeah, I just need a little help because I don't remember. what
Okay,
the shows are.
hold on just a second. and let me-
Does this have to be signed just, by one of us?
All three.
All three.
Yeah, MS2.
Yeah, I just thought it was multiple. You said, oh, never mind.
She-
Yeah, I got it. Never mind.
Yeah, she had it
It's been a
all
long day,
set.
She's prepared.
Yep.
which I am not.
And
All right,
then you
so
still have to do this
On this, Eric,
Oh, Paul does.
Paul
I'm
Paul
sorry.
does.
When you have a chance.
okay, so crash course. This here is what you need to state,
Yeah,
and then do this,
okay.
and then you say what time you're entering, and the other people, and then you just stop until you get down to the bottom.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so I read, all right. So I'll make a motion that,
No. I'll check off who's here, and then if you want to make a motion.
Make a motion to go non-public.
Yes,
that's what I was gonna do.
okay, sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Go ahead, Joe.
Make a motion to go non-public for RS-3091, I'm not sure which one it is.
A:3, Roman 2, C.
Okay.
I'll continue.
Yep.
Matters which are discussed in public would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board, unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to include any application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver of a fee, fine, or other levy if based on inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. Roll call vote. Eric Pirate, yes.
Paul Ogier, yes.
John Silly, yes.
Non-public session entered at 7:34.
Shut off the recording
Shut off the
devices.
recording devices. Hit this one?
Yes.
All right, what do I do? It's 7:43 and we're coming out of non-public session. Make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session.
I'll second it.
Roll call, roll call? Roll call vote?
Paul Ogier, yes.
John Silly, yes.
Eric Pirate, yes. Anything else for the non-public that I have to say?
Who made the motion to seal them, you?
Eric did.
Eric?
I seconded.
And who made this, who seconded your motion to come out of non-public?
Paul,
And what time was that?
7:43.
Thank you.
It's on the recording.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not going to do it.
All right. Our next meeting is, now we just changed the date,
Yes. Very true.
is
May 11th.
May 11th, 2021.
Where? Just with the changes that have been going on.
Here.
Okay.
Oh, you know what?
I will have to find out.
I'll find out because I know that the second Tuesday planning board meets upstairs,
Ooh,
but I don't think, well, there's some things that are happening over
the police station now.
at the police station, and
Oh, yeah.
that may be an option, to meet there.
So
Okay.
to be determined where?
Yes,
all right, I will have to find out.
and I'll call it the day of the meeting again and ask where we're meeting.
It's okay, I understand.
I'll call Beth.
She said to me, where's the meeting? And I'm like,
Chief sent out an
Town
email
hall.
today, that's all I knew.
I didn't see it. All right, is there anything else to come before this board this evening?
Hydrants, where do we stand with that?
you were doing a letter.
Okay, yep, a letter, a draft, okay.
Yes.
2 letters.
Chief is doing 2 letters.
One for domestic and one for hydrant, and
Yes.
that's where we stand with that for now. Okay.
Yes, that's where you're at for now.
All right. Anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And at 7:46, we stand adjourned.
I think Paul does quicker than you.
All right,
Pit
so,
stop,
everybody signed the manifest?
pit stop.
Absolutely. I mean, he went out back and said I shouldn't even be on the